issue, we're joined by the Outgoing MD and CEO, Rama Moorthy. Good morning and thanks so much for joining in. The first question is, what is the requirement for getting listed when your CRAR is already at 20%? Did the RBI mandate you to get listed, sir?
RBI has been asking us to get ourselves listed for the last couple of years, in fact. That's the reason we filed our DRHP sometime in 4th September 21, in fact. I think we took a little more time in getting the final approval from SEBI. I think it is more a compliance function as of now, since some our branch licensing is being held back by RBI, and we are not in a position to expand our network on account of this fact. And for that, it's a mandatory requirement for ourselves to get listed in the market as early as possible. That's why we are here, in fact, despite the fact that the present capital adequacy ratio is little comfortable at this point of time.
Okay, so RBI has asked you guys to get listed on exchanges. But the other issue really is, Mr. Rama Moorthy, that there are court cases against 37.7% equity of the bank. Shareholding and ownership of the bank is a key concern for investors. What is your view on the same?
Yeah, I think these ownership disputes and shareholding disputes have been haunting the bank for quite some time, and various disputes are being handled at different levels as of now. And till the other day, till yesterday also, there was I think FIA, some court case in SAT was there, in fact, and against this IPO also. That was also, I think, dismissed by the SAT authorities. And as of now, with all these issues in place, bank's performance has been decently poised for all these years. And our earning ability as well as the dividend paying capacity has never been in question all these 100 years, in fact. But for that 1 year wherein, due to COVID-related uncertainty, we were held back from distributing the dividend. This is an enviable track record of dividend distribution record, which should give a lot of comfort to the fresh investors who are stepping in at this point of time.
Got that. So another worry is that nearly 20% of your loans, 19.6% to be precise, are under SARFAESI. How can you recover them, and how much will be the loss in terms of recovery versus the actual amount lent?
I think 99% of, not loans, in fact, 99% of the NPA accounts must be under the SARFAESI Act, in fact. And I think when we have initiated SARFAESI action against the borrower, some of the borrowers choose to go to different courts, in fact, for asking us to pay. But only thing is, the system, SARFAESI system provides for when people go to court, no, I think they will be paying some amount upfront and then going to court. And some part recovery will be happening at that point of time. And our loan book is almost 50% of our loan book now. By and large, it comprises of some collateral security. That is the comfort level. And I think that's the reason why we are in a position to enforce our securities a little more effectively when compared to our peer banks also. And that's the reason why our asset quality is under better control as of now. And we are not foreseeing any major threat from that litigations on account of the SARFAESI initiation.
Okay, around 41.6% of your book also is under moratorium. So how much do you think of this can slip into NPAs in coming quarters?
Moratorium period is over, I think. Only concern till the other day was the restructured book. In fact, it has slightly gone up from 0.5% of last year to almost 2.84% for the financial year ending March 22. Out of that, again, the latest numbers, I can share it with you that not more than 18 crores have slipped out of the restructured book. We are not anticipating any trouble in that because most of the cash flows are improving as of now. And our advances book is mostly dominated by RAM portfolio, small ticket side advances. And there again, our MSME components are, I think, is hovering around 40%. When that is the case, I think cash flows, when they are improving in the system, we are not anticipating any major panicky situation at this point of time than the COVID-related uncertainties.
Okay. So what about regional concentration? Now, Tamil Nadu forms about 75% of your business or advances. Do you plan to diversify into other geographies, or will you remain concentrated in the south, especially in Tamil Nadu?
To this, I can answer in two ways as such. Yes, Tamil Nadu concentration may be seen as a weakness in the system by somebody, but I think as long as the Tamil Nadu is a state which is fourth largest and then contributing significantly for the GDP growth of the entire country, I think with our network of branches spread in mostly rural and semi-urban areas, we were not found wanting on account of meeting our growth aspirations from Tamil Nadu also. But especially when the branch licensing is going to be liberalized, we will be opening opportunity. We'll be exploring the opportunity of opening branches in those areas where we are not representing. Maybe in that process, some of the future network, maybe in non-Tamil Nadu area also, the percentage of business from Tamil Nadu may be progressively coming down when we try to expand ourselves in the other areas. And that will be happening more by way of digital banking units also. When that happens, the geographical concentration is not going to make a huge difference to our physical presence. When that is the case, the percentage of business, as we are saying, 76%, may slightly come down over a period of time from the concentration, regional concentration may get diluted over a period of time as such.
Okay, Rama Moorthy, then let's talk about some guidance. Post this fundraise that you're doing, how do you see return ratios panning out? What is the credit cost guidance for you?
I think this particular fund which we are trying to mobilize at this point of time, this is going to be the growth capital which will be auguring for our, I think, capacity building exercise to match our growth aspirations at this point of time. I think when we say that what is going to be the future impact of this one, yes, temporarily, I think our ROEs and ROA may get affected within a 6 months period or so. But with the growth aspirations, when the industry is likely to grow at a decent CAGR of more than 10-15%, we should also be in line with that growth aspirations of the banking sector. And when we grow at that level, I think we should be able to maintain decent ROE and ROE in tune with the past performance as such.
Can you talk a little bit about what will drive your growth? Which is the segment that you will focus on?
Our strength remains that relationship banking, and for that, concentrating on MSME has been paying decent dividends in the past to our efforts. And our bank is so unique in so many ways that our discretion lending powers with our branch managers is still intact. We have not centralized everything. When that is the option, I think major focus will again be there on agriculture, MSME, and retail. And within these components, again, MSME is going to be the more focal area when things are, after this unprecedented uncertainty is over. That is giving some confidence for us that I think something will start happening in a much better way, as a lot of capacity building has been kept on hold, and that will be our area of expertise. We will be doing justice for the aspirations of this particular segment as well.
Okay. So last question before we let you go, and this is an important one because there have been many whistleblower complaints in your bank. Can you explain what is happening here?
I think it's an organization with a 100-year legacy. In fact, I think when that is the case, I think when people are seeing the other side of it, whatever it has been there, it has been some transparency has been there in the system. Whistleblower policy is a policy which has been accepted by the board. In fact, it is in vogue. And all these complaints are addressed in the logical fashion, and these have been taken to a logical end as such. And the more and more complaints come, that should not be seen as a weakness in the system. In fact, that be seen as a strength also. We'll be, wherever it is to be checks and balances need to be built in the system. I think the improvisation will also be happening. And we should not be seen as a, I think, negative factor. I think over a period of time also, more of transparency, more and more of openness in the system, that will make the organization more nimble-footed in at least living up to the expectations of the all stakeholders in this as such.
Mr. Rama Moorthy, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us on CNBC TV 18 and wish you all the very best for the IPO, which is currently open.